Okay, ladies and gents, so what's going on here? Welcome back to another football video here. So this is going to be a Champions League final preview between Liverpool and Real Madrid, so let's just get into this. So when I look at both clubs here, I think to myself, both Liverpool and Real Madrid, they are two of the top powerhouse clubs in Europe, because technically Real Madrid, I still think that they are a powerhouse even after the departure of key players like Ronaldo and Ramos. It only took 3 years for Real Madrid to once again reclaim the status of being a Champions League contender, you know, a true Champions League contender. Just because obviously looking back, I think it's safe to say that, you know, after Ronaldo's departure, I think that's what allowed Karim Benzema to flourish with the club, you know, because when Ronaldo was playing for Real Madrid, Benzema, he was kind of in Ronaldo's shadow for most of the time. After Ronaldo left, it seems like that Benzema has become that true talisman for Madrid. And this is the part here where it gets super interesting for Real Madrid, just because, you know, Benzema, of course, has a big chance in 2 weeks to once again prove why he is without a doubt that true talisman for Madrid in a Champions League final. Because obviously, ever since Ronaldo departed Real Madrid, if there is one player that's really been keeping this team afloat, I actually would have to say 2 players, Benzema and Modric. I think that both Benzema and Modric have done a fine job of keeping Real Madrid afloat and in constant contention for the Champions League. Now, heading into this final here, it's really hard to say which team has an advantage over one another, but if I had to say here, I think that maybe Madrid have obviously the more complete striker in Benzema compared to Liverpool's Firmino, because obviously having a solid lethal striker like Benzema makes the biggest difference, I would have to say, especially in big games, since, you know, Benzema, he's been without a doubt just stepping up for Madrid for most of the time in the Champions League. And of course, I will admit, he's been outperforming Robert Lewandowski as well, I think, in the Champions League knockouts this past year. So obviously, that is one advantage that Real Madrid, I think, might have over Liverpool here in the Champions League final, is that they just have a really solid striker and just a very lethal goal-scoring striker. Because obviously, if you compare Benzema and Firmino, Benzema, he's been performing better than Firmino, but one advantage that I think Liverpool might have over Real Madrid here is probably their wingers, you know, their experienced wingers in Salah and Mane. So I think that is one area here where Liverpool, I think, outperform Real Madrid. However, when it comes to the midfield, I think it's safe to say both Real Madrid's midfield and Liverpool's midfield matches up very, very well. Because obviously for Liverpool, I think that the best player in their midfield has without a doubt been Thiago, of course. And obviously Thiago is going to be that player to watch out for Liverpool in the Champions League final, just because, you know, you look at Thiago, I think it's really just going to depend on him and on his shoulders of the way how the game is going to be played. Because obviously with Thiago, he can trick a defender in just a snap of a finger, and that's what makes Thiago such a really deadly midfielder to go up against. Which makes you realize just how badly did Bayern screw up by selling Thiago for only, what, a bag of chips to Liverpool, but I guess that's a whole nother topic for another video. But yeah, Liverpool having Thiago in midfield is going to make a very, very key difference, I feel like. And obviously, if you look at Real Madrid's midfield, you know, Luka Modric, you have him being the midfield talismanic maestro, and then you also have Casemiro, who has so far been proven to be arguably the best CDM in the world, because you can't deny Casemiro. He's like a 5th extra center back for Real Madrid right there, and he's been so crucial for Real Madrid, especially in these Champions League finals, as a way of preventing Madrid from being, you know, hit on the counterattack and scored on. So while Real Madrid's and Liverpool's midfield matches up pretty well, I have to say I think overall Madrid have the better midfield compared to Liverpool, if I'm being honest here. Because as much as I hate to say it, man, Madrid's midfield, I think, is more experienced compared to Liverpool's. And obviously with Real Madrid having that 5th extra center back-like player in Casemiro, and plus if you combine Luka Modric and Toni Kroos, then obviously it's safe to say here that Madrid have a big advantage, I think, in midfield over Liverpool. And obviously if you look at Real Madrid's wingers, to Real Madrid they also have another really good winger in Vinicius Jr., who I think is without a doubt the most underrated winger in the world right now. Because obviously if you look at Vinicius Jr., he's been absolutely crucial for Real Madrid's front attack, and, you know, he's really developed, I have to say, this past year, especially with him, you know, taking on defenders here, which allows Benzema to find space inside the box, you know, to score a goal and all that stuff. And if you look at Real Madrid's defense here, well, yeah, I think it has struggled at times because of the departure of Ramos and Varane, but despite that here, Courtois, he's obviously, I think, been the biggest key difference maker in Real Madrid's defense besides Casemiro, because obviously Courtois, the guy, he knows how to make those crazy shot stops, and without a doubt, Courtois, he's been playing like a top 2 goalkeeper, I'd have to say. And with Real Madrid having a former Bayern player in David Alaba in defense, obviously David Alaba, he's an experienced defender, and if we are honest here, David Alaba, he had mostly a really good season for Real Madrid, I have to say, you know, because David Alaba for Real Madrid, I think he's without a doubt been, you know, just really crucial for them as well, especially, you know, with his just a defensive play. He's been basically playing like another defensive captain for Madrid. And you look at Liverpool here, their defense also matches up really really well with the main man, of course, Virgil van Dijk. But one area of advantage in defense that I think Liverpool have over Real Madrid here is that they have a more, I think, pacey defense compared to Real Madrid's defense, because obviously you look at Liverpool here with experienced players like Andrew Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think that Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold, they both added that speed in Liverpool's defense, which I think is going to be very crucial for them, especially for a way to prevent from being hit on the counterattack by Real Madrid. Because if there is one thing we know about Real Madrid here is that they are still really good at being able to hit opposing teams on the counter. And I think that Robertson and TAA, they give Liverpool that area of blanket, needed to help prevent from being, exposed on the counterattack. Now, obviously, looking at Real Madrid's journey to the Champions League final, this certainly was not any fluke. Madrid, they have shown their true character, that they are a team that's willing to take on any challenge. And I think they've really proven themselves this last year, especially from the time they lost those key players in Ronaldo, Ramos, and Varane. Like Madrid, they've truly proven themselves to be a team that you don't want to doubt. And for Liverpool, their keeper also matches up very, very well with Real Madrid's keeper. And I personally think that this final is going to be anybody's up for grabs, because obviously, if you look at the last Champions League final, last Champions League final between Liverpool and Real Madrid, obviously we had that performance from Gareth Bale when he scored that incredible overkick goal. But one thing I want to say about the 2018 Champions League final is that I think Liverpool would have had a chance, if Salah wasn't injured right there. And if you look at both teams here, I think that Liverpool, I think that they play better pressing compared to Real Madrid here, because obviously, the next year, Liverpool, they won their Champions League after losing the final against Madrid the previous year. And I think a big reason for that is because of their ability to press opposing teams. Liverpool, I think they've become experts at, playing the high pressing tempo game, just because what makes Liverpool's Champions League victory very impressive in 2019 was that they were able to make a 3-0 comeback against Barcelona by playing Shaqiri and Origi up front, especially since Liverpool, they did not have Mohamed Salah for that game. But even with them playing Shaqiri and Origi up front, they still were able to produce one of the craziest comebacks in Champions League history. So obviously, I think that Liverpool, they will have a big chance of beating Madrid in this final here, just because I think that if Liverpool can force Real Madrid into making mistakes, but obviously we can't still deny that Real Madrid, them being that experienced team, they probably will expect Liverpool to play a very high pressing tempo game. And me personally, if I'm being honest here, I have Liverpool winning this final 2-1 after extra time. So yeah, guys, that's my final prediction and preview of the game and the final. So let me know, what is your prediction of the game? I would love to hear it. And if I missed out any key points in this video, please let me know in the comment section below. But I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe.